Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're checking out a brand new release from Kyosho, the Ultima 20th Anniversary Limited Edition. Ooh, yeah, limited. Take that with a pinch of salt. I don't see any numbers on it, so is it limited when it's 5,000 units? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, this was brought out by Kyosho to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Kyosho America. And it's kind of a tribute car back to the 1987 Ultima that dominated back then. So not really a car that actually existed, kind of did, kind of didn't, but it's to celebrate Kyosho, really, and I'm super chuffed to get it. I'm glad they did it. The quality of these are absolutely stunning. So obviously we did the mid previously, and then this is kind of the sister car to that as well. Now I have got an Ultima already. We've got the JJ up there in the corner. I'll cut to some images of it. So it's just like another reincarnation version of that. Prices, two-wheel drive, by the way, £379 in the UK, and in America, $359. People in America, you're laughing. So yes, it does seem on the surface to be quite an expensive RC for a two-wheel drive vintage buggy. But there is a caveat, and when the mid came out, again, I was just like you, I thought, well, it feels a bit expensive for what it is. But once you dive into what's actually in this box, there's lots of optional extras, very expensive ones that come in this kit as standard. So when you start to break it down, it actually starts to make more sense, and it actually can work out better value. I know that sounds a bit weird, but we'll cover that in a bit. Now, it comes with anodized aluminium, lots of carbon. There's a carbon top deck. Also, it's got carbon towers. Now, if you know Kyosho, these parts can get very expensive. So if you try to upgrade an Ultima down the line, then you're going to get a big shock on just how much money you're going to spend. The next question I'm sure you're going to ask is, well, if Kyosho have got that out, the 20th Ultima, and they've also got the JJ Ultima, which one should I get? And it's quite an easy one. It depends on what you're going to do. If you're going to go vintage racing, the JJ is amazing. If it's so good, why did you do a dedicated shelf queen? I don't know, it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I wanted to do a replica as best I can using the vintage electronics. I didn't know it was going to be that fast. And before you ask, yeah, this is going to be another shelf queen. Well, I guess you needed another one. And when they're set up right, they are amazing how good they are for their age. This one, on the other hand, I think this one is more suited for someone who is looking for a very high quality RC, maybe a shelf queen, garden runner, who just wants, or someone who is looking to try a Kyosho for the first time. If you're coming from Tamiya, this will be a big shock for you, as the quality of these are just mwah. So when you see the price point, it kind of makes you balk, but I highly recommend pushing the boat out a little bit. You won't be disappointed once you've built it. Right, I think that covers enough waffling. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up, take a look at all those lovely bling parts, and then in an upcoming video very soon, I'm going to do a detailed build for you. Also, luckily for me, the paint job of this is actually quite tricky, as the only way to paint this up that's easy is to use the Tamiya PS paint, but nothing is that colour, and obviously you've got to match it to the wheels. Now, in the previous video that I did, when I did the mid, I actually mixed up the colours myself, and it was a bit of a faff to get it bang on. So luckily for me, there was a clever spark named Lee Clark who actually had some of this paint mixed up. Now, it was too late for me to use it on the mid, but I decided to buy one anyway, just on the off chance maybe I'd paint up another body. Well, wasn't that a bit of luck? Because that's exactly what we're going to do here. So that saved me a lot of messing about. So if you were looking to paint it up yourself, I'd highly recommend going and watching the mid video, as I try to cover the way to mix it up to get it as close as possible. But for my build, it's going to be a lot easier. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something to camera here. What are you doing? What am I doing? Oh, I'm getting this ready. I'm going to take it out. With all this OCD stuff that's going on in here with all these shelf queens, someone's got to drive something. Funny. You are going to clean that though when you finish with it, right? Right, let's open it up and take a look. Now, I haven't actually looked in this one at all. No cheating, you're going to see it along the same sort of lines. as I am. So it's got 2 points to keep the lid tight, and then it should just lift. There we go. So on first impressions, well, doesn't look like there's a lot in the box, does there really? So we start with the wheels and the spoiler, and this is what most people struggle with. Is obviously, if you're going to do it box art, you've got to match the color of the rims, and the Tamiya PS cobalt green, I think it is miles off, way too dark. So don't use that, otherwise you won't be happy with the results. So it's worth putting some effort into mixing up your own paint, even if you mix it up and then paint it on by hand using a brush like we did back in the day. Then we've got the standard tires that we tend to see now from Kyosho. We've seen it on the Turbo Ultima, as well as the JJ as well. Next one is this one. So plastic bag, that's all it says. And there is a whole load of bits and bobs inside this. So we'll open it up in a second, have a look. It's just get through it. Then we've got another large bag that has the individual bags in it as well. So we need to open that up and take a look. Then we've got something that we don't normally see on the Ultimas, the top deck in carbon. This is very different. What else have we got? Then we have the body, and then we have the bottom alloy chassis that's been anodized in this gorgeous gold color, bronze color, if you will. Right, let's open up those two massive bags. So actually, I think we'll start with the manual. Let's open it up and take a look. Now, most of Kyosho's manuals, the quality is fine. There's no issues with them at all. So we have, first thing we have is the carbon top tower with recessed bolts. Very nice. Who knows what that's worth to buy separately from Kyosho? Then we get the manual itself, and there's actually some more parts in here as well. What's this extra fitting the radio plate? Okay. And then we've got our normal manual. Usual exploded diagrams, upgrades, that kind of stuff. But as you can see, it's fine. There's the exploded diagram that you normally see. And then each step building it. So they've actually gone to quite a bit of effort to create this manual with the differences in it compared to like the JJ, for instance. So it's not just a simple change. They actually made quite a bit of work on that one. Option sheet. Now we have the decals. So there we go. Quality, these are pre-cut out for you, which for me, I'm not actually sold. Believe it or not, I find cutting out decals is easier to mount than it is to deal with decals that have already been cut out for you. The main reason is when they've been cut out, they're not cut out tight enough. So then you have to go back and cut out bits of they've left in, which I don't like. Also, mounting them, it makes it harder to mount them with the technique of you cut it out, peel a section and then cut it. Well, you can't do that when they're pre-cut, but if you're starting out, pre-cut is a good way to go. And then the second sheet is all the text. Very simple, really. And then the third sheet, what's the third sheet then? Okay, oh, so we've got some extra decals, 20th anniversary, that's quite a nice one. So we've got some special decals as well. Then what's this? Is that the window masks? So we have the window masks as well. They're normally pretty decent, the window masks from Kyosho. They line up really good. And what's this? This looks like an alignment tool for something. Cut lines. So you have to put this, and you stick this on the body, and then it gives you the lines you have to cut, because the cut lines that are on the body by default are not for this car. So they give you these weird decals that you have to stick on, and then you cut around as per what it tells you to. That was the same kind of thing I think they did on the JJ as well. So the next one is this bag we've got here. Let's open this up and take a look at what's inside this one. I think it's time to change my blade. This is getting a bit dull. So let's have a look. Ugh. So the first bag we have a spur gear. Then we've got the motor mount plate anodized as well to match the rest of the chassis. Some carbon towers, a Allen tool, some bolts, and it looks like the slipper spring in gold, funny enough. Then A-bag has the anodised motor cover, the one that's actually got 20th anniversary on it. Then we've got some other oils and bearings. Obviously this kit comes with all the bearings. Then we have bag F. Bag F is the straps for the battery, pinion gear, double-sided tape, some actual foam mounts. They're the rear wing parts that go on the side by the look of it. Then we've got bag D, which is the tower. This looks like the front tower. Well, that must be the back one. This is the front tower. And then we've got some extra, are they pistons? Yeah, they could be. No, they look like pivot pins. Pivot pins and some hardware. Then we have bag C, and that comes with a load of bearings, a load of hardware. Next we move on to the big bag that we've got. So let's open it up. Obviously this is mostly all the plastic parts. So we've got suspension parts, more suspension parts, nothing super special, not stuff that you haven't seen before. Some end of the tie rods. Then we have, what have we got in here? Looks like, well, their plastics seem a bit different. Maybe they've changed the plastics. They actually seem quite nice. Front bulkhead and rear bulkhead of some sort. I'm not sure about that one. Then we've got front bumper. Not sure what that is. And they look like part of the wing, rear wing. And then we have another bag. We have the arms. The plastics look a little bit different. I wonder if they've changed the material. There's different composite or something. Then you've got the rear hubs. All feels very premium. And then we've got the diff housing, and we've got the pinion and spur cover. And the last one is it comes with the steering and a servo horn as well. So there you go, that's everything you get in the box. So there you go, there's a quick look at the Ultima 20th anniversary. So in the next episode, the plan is to do a full detailed build on this one, and it's absolutely stunning, so it's going to be really good fun building this one up and painting it all up box art as well with the paints that I talked about earlier. And below me here, well, I posted on the RCKicks Facebook group. If you haven't seen that or haven't joined it, I'll put a link in the description. Go ahead over there. We're at 9,000 RC fans, so go check them out. Sorry, I digress. Well, I posted about this, and Marwan RC got in contact saying, hey, if you're going to be doing this, they've got lots of goodies for it. Now, I've bought stuff from them before, so they sent me over a whole load of bits and pieces. Being that it's an Ultima, you can paint it up in different ways. So if you're not interested in doing box art, there's a few other options that they can do for you. So they sent me another body. Now this is the body that can be used for the Pro XL Ultima, the Turbo Ultima, and the Ultima Pro. There's 3 different decal sets for that, as they're all different colours, and believe it or not, they actually do those as well. So I need to decide which way I'm going to go with it. Also, they do the correct tyres. So I was sent a load of tyres as well. They do the, sorry, I don't know the numbers, OT-66 tyres, which is the spike tyres that are very popular on the vintage stuff. And they also do the insanely expensive originals, the W5031 replicas. Now, believe it or not, when I did my replica JJ, the rear tyres are supposed to be those W50131s. And I managed to find some original ones for £65 before Marwan did the reproduction ones. Yes, I paid £65 for some rear tyres, but now you don't have to. So if you're interested in this kit, but you're not too sure about doing the box art, well, there's lots of other choices you can do. And in the build video, in the next video, I've decided I'm going to paint up a whole separate body as well with decals, but which one do I go for? Comment below, let me know what do you think is the best. Should I go the Ultima Pro, the Turbo Ultima, or the Ultima Pro XL? Which do you think is the best looking? What happened to you? I went out bashing in the forest and got a little bit carried away. This mud does smell a bit funny though. Yeah. What is that? You'll do anything for this show. It's brown face paint. That's not face paint. That's fence paint, you idiot. That's permanent.